Survivor 50 in the hands of the fans. When you think of this season, you should feel excitement, nostalgia, and hype. In fact, the Oxford definition of hype is to promote or publicize a product or idea intensely, often exaggerating its importance or benefits. But then why is there basically no hype for Survivor 50? Today, I have gathered 6 of your favorite Survivor content creators as they build the hype and anticipation for Survivor 50. But honestly, Jeff Probst needs some help. Survivor 50 should be a celebration of Survivor, and currently I don't feel the love. So to celebrate the show that we love with Survivor Season 50, all 6 of these content creators are tasked with the simple question: who are you most looking forward to seeing in Survivor 50? One of the biggest talking points going into Survivor 50 is the overuse of the new era players, and more specifically the underuse of old school players. I'm gonna be 100% honest, out of all the content creators, I am the only person that picked a new era player. So whether you are a new era truther or pumped to see the old school legends return, leave a comment down below with your pick of the player you are most pumped to see play Survivor again.
What's up, everybody? It's Phil from The Specialists, and if you've been following any of our Survivor 50 coverage, you know the easy answer for this question for me is Colby. Obviously, I'm most excited to see Colby, the icon from Season 2, who I was watching as a 9-year-old and was super excited to watch win challenges and just couldn't understand how he lost to Tina. Although I do kind of understand it now, I'm still not over it. And everybody says his heroes versus villains game is terrible, but personally, I think it is super underrated. I think he plays a great cockroach type game of he never should have survived Final 17, and all of a sudden he's sitting there in the Final 5 with a chance to potentially win the game if he sits at Final Tribal Council. I know everybody wants to disagree with that. This is a man where the heroes probably vote for him to win if he is sitting there against 2 villains. I'm super excited to see Colby. I know he's older now. He's not going to be as good at challenges. He wasn't even that good at challenges back in Heroes versus Villains, but there is still so much opportunity for Colby, and he's one of those players where even if his confessionals getting a little tired, can't really hang as much as he could back in All-Stars and back in Australia, I think that this is one of the best casting choices of this era, and I think it's a great representation of what old school Survivor is supposed to be. They were going to go with an old school player. It had to be Colby, and I'm so excited that I'm finally going to get to see him on my screen again for the first time in over 15 years. So he is my easy choice for who I'm most excited to see on 50.
From Season 2, Survivor's first All-American hero, Colby.
What's up? I'm Andrew Yallo. I believe that Coach will be winning Survivor 50. Now, the reason why I believe that Coach would win Survivor 50 against all other legends on this cast is just because as a fan of his, I just truly believe in him. And he's one of the people that I really believe that if he makes it far enough, he's not going to be the biggest threat in the room where people are going to be so gung-ho and trying to get him out. So I feel like if he does make it to the FTC somehow, he's got a good shot to win because he's very persuasive. I really believe that there is a chance for him to sway a jury in his favor, especially for a monumental season, Season 50. I mean, there's a lot of people that do believe that he should have won South Pacific. So I just think that Coach's legacy is, I mean, he's got a lot riding on his legacy here. I mean, he really has a lot to show and prove for himself here. He's also on the older side of this cast. So, you know, who's to say that his physical ability is up to par with the rest of everybody? He's not going to be able to go up against a Joe Hunter and say that, like, oh, you know, I'm the best physical force out here. Like, he's not going to be able to do that. But I do believe that he's going to be strong in his social game and probably his strategic game. He's going to be bringing in old school Survivor back into this. Although people may be underestimating him going into this season because he's a lot older, I do think that may work in his favor and it could land him the win. I have a lot of faith in Coach just because of how well he's performed in previous seasons.
Thank you, Andrew, for hyping up Coach, but now I am moving into the man, the myth, the legend. No, don't worry, not him. I am most excited to see Q from Survivor 46 return to play the greatest game one more time. And I actually think Q has a ton of similarities to Coach when it comes to Survivor. They are both entertaining as hell, actually really good at Survivor, and aren't afraid to play it up for the camera. And that is my only fear with Q. Although Q was being a crazy lunatic during Survivor 46, at least he was being who he really is and not a caricature of himself. Hear me out for a second. Think Philip coming back for Survivor fans versus favorites, or even Coach coming back for Survivor heroes versus villains. These players understood the assignment of what the fans love loved, and went all in on that with coming off a bit fake. But everything else is all upside for this dude. Q has all the tools to come back with a vengeance, making great TV, having experience on the Disaster Tribe, and being voted out with an idol in his pocket means he won't be afraid to go big again. Or you know, go home again. Please don't go home early from this video and instead click that juicy red subscribe button. In fact, to show the support for all the content creators in this video, please go show all of them some love. I have links for all of them in the description.
Hey, Luke from Idled Out here. The player I am most excited to see in Survivor 50 is Cirie Fields, the consensus best to never win. 3 legendary outings and also heroes versus villains. A woman who has never been eliminated in a simple majority vote. A player with the fandom hat trick, beloved by casuals, hardcore fans, and production. She is a woman with 0 haters except a few salty babies who got by her on the traders. Conventional wisdom would hold that a player like this would have an astronomical target on her back going into season 50, and yet I feel like she can pull off some magic here. Cirie has shown she can thrive strategically in every era of Survivor. She always swings for the fences, and she's always trying to push at the boundaries of the game itself. Putting aside the amazing confessionals and charisma we're gonna see just from her being on screen, think of Cirie with a beware advantage. Think of the magic she could work with a shot in the dark. I can't wait to see what she's gonna cook up in the new era. Obviously, can't wait.
From season 12, she needs no introduction, returning for a record-tying 5th time, the beloved Cirie.
Thank you, Russell. The person I'm the most excited to see on season 50 is Mike White from David vs. Goliath. And I feel like there's a number of reasons why I'm excited to see Mike. Obviously, for one, he surprised a lot of people on his original season, where despite him being like the celebrity figure and someone who you would assume would have a big target on their back, he ended up getting 2nd place on that season. And I feel like he played a pretty strong game at that. So I feel like that alone like presents some intrigue for how he'll be able to replicate that success on Survivor 50 here. I think he really proved himself to be a pretty fun player, but also someone who's able to make a lot of big moves. So I feel like that is definitely going to bring some fun energy to the season. But I also think Mike White's presence on the season has some broader meanings to it, where for one, he has since gone on to make The White Lotus, which is a pretty successful show, which I would highly recommend watching, by the way, but also a show where he's been pretty open about allowing his fellow competitors to make cameos on the show. And it'll be fun to see whether anyone tries to smooth with Mike White to try to get into season 4 or season 5 of the show. So I think that'll be pretty funny. But I also find Mike White's return here interesting because he had a hand in making the new era what it was, where during the planning on season 41, Mike White had posed the question to Jeff, is it fun? Which sparked Jeff to reimagine Survivor, changing the game forever and making the new era what it is. And the fact that now Mike White has to lay in the bed that he helped make will be pretty funny to see, but also interesting to see how he adapts. So it's for all those reasons that I'm very excited to see Mike White return here on Survivor 50.
And from 37, in between writing and directing seasons of White Lotus, Mike White is back.
You all seriously thought a Survivor collab was happening and your boy Bandit wouldn't be a part of the party? So let's crack open the champagne because I want to discuss the infamous Stephanie LaGrussa and why I'm so excited to see her on Survivor 50. Stephanie is a true legend of the show, surviving until there were 2 people left on her tribe, then beating Bobby John in fire making, thus resulting in her being the last one standing on the mess known as the Oolong tribe. Then in Guatemala we got to see Stephanie play from the top in a more villainous role, resulting in a lot more fun content, but not the win. Heroes versus villains, well, who can say it happened? But there was a heavy pre-game, and I actually think her early exit may save her. The returnees from Heroes vs. Villains that were voted out pre-merge, Cirie, Tyson, Rob, and Coach. All of them flipped that around and made really deep, dynamic runs on their follow-up season. And Stephanie, say similar to Tony in Winners at War, could very much benefit from being a massive threat, but having a poor showing from her last season she played in. She's also seen success in other shows such as The Traders, and ultimately is one of the best confessionalists on Survivor, as well as that previous show. I'm excited to see Stephanie back, and I know you are too.
Survivor Bandit loves the Replica Survivor puzzles, and you will as well. Click right here to check out the Replica Tree puzzle as we have our biggest sale ever with Black Friday, 35% off, and click right here as we rank all the Survivor 50 players from worst to best.